Jesus Christ, my attack speed is not even close to how good I thought it would be. Let's see how we're doing against some expedition mobs now. Not bad, not bad. Right, let's fight Yama. What happened? Oh, and you know the drill, it wouldn't be a proper showcase if we didn't fight one of the arbiters, of course. And today we are fighting the arbiter of divinity, TD. Who is he? Jesus. I almost one-shot him. Well, that's nice to see. I'll be a good boy and drop me something good as well. I want either the amulet, either the spear. Nope. Hello, RPG fans. It is pretty late right now, so no foreplay today. We are jumping straight into the gear. So for my first weapon, I am using a Sky Sliver, which is the fastest unique spear out there. Basically, I am only using this weapon for my weapon set number 1 and only using it for Whirling Slash, so we can move around the map as fast as possible. And as you can see, we are not doing that. We are not very fast, but this is the best that I can do. And my second weapon is the Ordained. I am only using this weapon on my weapon set number 2, and basically I am only using it for my twisters. And we are using it for the high physical damage, lightning damage, and most importantly for the high base critical hit chance. For the helmet, I'm using a Alpha Soul for the spirit mostly, because we are using a lot of spirit gems on this character, so we needed a lot of spirit. And I have also anointed it with Paragon because we are a Gemling and we are stacking quality. In my offhand, I'm using a Sacred Flame, and there are two reasons. One of them is the spirit. We are getting 138 spirit from the scepter. And the second reason is the 60% of damage as extra fire damage, which is extremely good for this build as well. And this line right here is a bonus as well. Enemies in your presence resist elemental damage based on their lowest resistance. And that's also kind of synergistic with my Alpha Soul, because if you read my Alpha Soul, it doubles my presence radius. And I also have some jewels I will show you afterwards that give me increased presence area of effect. So if you want to see how big my presence is, you cannot even see it. You cannot even see the green circle around me, because that's how big it is. I know that sounded a bit sus, but yeah, I have a big presence. Trust me, it's massive presence. For the body armor, I am using a low weave, and of course the main reason is the 7% quality of all skills. And then I needed one with 3 sockets as well. That's why I bought this specific low weave. Anything else was secondary for me. I needed the 3 sockets because I needed the Tekrat's Gaze in order to counter the degen that I'm getting from my Berserk. I needed the Fox Idol for the 5% quality, and I needed this Idol of Eramir in order to get the 10% chance to not remove charges, but still count as consuming them. So like I said, anything else was secondary, but luckily I also got 13% increased rarity, and I also got Onslaught on kill, which is pretty good as well. And this line right here is also helpful, I guess. My understanding is that this makes the enemies that are attacking us from distance miss more often. And the last line, the win skills blah blah one, does nothing for us because we are using the taming as well, right? So there is a lot of room for improvement here, and you can probably get a better low weave for, I don't know, around 100 divines, because I think I paid 70 for this one. For the amulet, I'm using a Yoke of Suffering. I have corrupted and double corrupted this amulet myself, and this is the best outcome that I got. I have corrupted around 20 of them, I believe. And the main reason why is this line right here that says that enemies take 20% increased damage for each elemental element, and we are dealing cold damage, we are dealing lightning damage, and we are dealing fire damage. And then the elemental resistances and the elemental damage are, of course, big bonuses as well. So this amulet is pretty good. For the ring, for my first ring, I am, of course, using a taming. This ring is basically made for Twister. They are like made for each other, like Romeo and Juliet, like peanut butter and jelly, like prison and soap. You get the idea, right? Basically, the two main reasons are those two lines at the bottom. Wind skills, which can be boosted by elemental ground surfaces, count as being boosted by multiple elemental ground surfaces. And then they count as being boosted by ignited, shocked, and chill ground, which is massive for Twister. And we also get a lot of elemental resistances as a bonus. I have corrupted this ring myself. I have corrupted probably around 25 of them or something like that. And this is the best outcome that I got. And it wasn't that expensive either, to be honest. So yes, I am very happy with this ring. Now for my second ring, I am of course using a Grip of Kulmak. I have corrupted and double corrupted around 10 of those rings, and this is the best outcome that I got. Most of the things that it gives me are things that I did want, like I wanted the evasion, I wanted the deflection. The thing that I wanted the most is the 10% increased spirit reservation efficiency. The 23 spirit is also extremely powerful, even though I would have preferred it if this was 200 dexterity instead of 200 strength. The chance to chain an additional time from terrain is also decent for us, but the forking line does nothing for my build, so there is definitely room for improvement here. Now for the gloves, I went with the Malek Gyros, mostly because of the jewel socket and the corruption. The jewel socket because jewels are extremely powerful this league, and the corruption because we are doing the Herald of Ice tech, which allows us to break armor, but also because of this line right here that gives me 250% critical damage bonus. Basically, that allows me to focus on other stats other than critical damage bonus. So because of those gloves, I was able to get a lot of jewels with maximum rage and with critical hit chance. So yeah, very, very powerful gloves. For the boots, I went with the Atsiri step for 3 reasons: evasion, deflection, and the high increased movement speed. There are not many good unique boots out there. And in case you wonder why I have rebirth runes here, that's so I can counter the degen that I'm getting from Berserk. For the belt, I went again with the Ice Galo. Ice Galo. Please buy something expensive, Ice Galo. Jesus Christ. For the belt, I'm using a Mage Blood with Bismuth, Quicksilver, and Double Jade. Bismuth to cap my resistances, Double Jade because we are pretty squishy, so I wanted some evasion as well. And the Quicksilver would be, of course, ideally silver instead because we are moving around with our attacks. And lastly, for the flasks and the charms, I'm using, of course, a Blood of the Warrior just because it is a unique flask. If the theme of the video wasn't uniques only, I would definitely use a rare flask instead. And I'm using a Lavianga's Spirits for the passive mana regen just because I want to be lazy and I don't want to press my mana flask. And I'm using the same three charms as in any other video. This one for stun, this one for freeze, and the Rite of Passage with the Spirit of the Cat. Mostly for the 100% increased critical hit chance, but also because of some other goodies like evasion rating, skill speed, and movement speed. Now let me quickly show you the stats as well. I'm a level 97 Gemling. I have a lot of attributes, a lot of spirit. My defenses are looking pretty good. They are looking even better in maps. They are looking even better when I move. As you can see, my evasion jumps up to 65. And they are looking even better when my charge regulation procs. My elemental resistances are very overcapped. My chaos resistance could of course be much better. My movement speed is at 67% because of the mage blood mostly, but we don't care about it, but because we use attacks in order to move anyways. My rarity is at 24%, I believe. Yep. And when you count the 15% from the Rite of Passage as well, basically that's 39% rarity. So that could be much better as well. And my critical hit chance is at, I believe, at around 40%. 40% without charge regulation and 50 with charge regulation, which is ideal because my Gyarukan caps my critical hit chance at 50% anyways. Now for the supports and the skills, I have a lot of skills, so I'm not going to go very in detail for every single skill. But I will explain things like, for example, why I'm using those green supports in my Speak Stab and Speak Throw, even though I am not using my Speak Stab and Speak Throw. Basically, the reason is so I can balance those three numbers, the 17, 17, 17. As you can see, it doesn't have to be 17, but as long as they are the same number, you get all three bonuses from Gem-Studded. Gem-Studded, aka this Ascendancy node. Like I said, I'm not using this one. I'm not using this one. Virtuous Barrier, we get it from my Ascendancy. Purity of Fire from the Scepter. So we can socket all those supports for free. I'm not using Righteous Descent. Whirling Slash, I am only using it for moving around the map. Twister, which is my main damage dealer. Barrage, which is extremely important for us. If you remember, I took a Idol of Eramir in my body armor, so I have 10% chance not to remove charges but still count as consuming them. We are trying to get this number as high as possible. We also get 46% more from the additional effects from quality, and then we also get another 10% from the Fabled Stag here. So in total we have, I believe, 91% chance not to remove charges, which is massive. Ideally you would want, of course, to be at 100, but even 91 is pretty good, right? Charge regulation, which is really good. If you read what it does, it gives you 28% more critical hit chance, which is better than increased critical hit chance. 21% more armor evasion and energy shield, and 26% increased kill speed. All those three bonuses are very good for my build. And it also gives me 5% increased damage per charge. And as you can see right now, for example, I have 9 charges, so that's 36% increased damage. Arctic armor, which is massive for my survivability, it gives me 46% increased armor per stage, and you have 7 stages. So you get a ton of increased armor because of Arctic armor. Eternal Rage, which is the reason why we are constantly at 78% rage. If you don't know what rage does, it gives you 1% more attack damage for each rage. So basically, just because of Eternal Rage, we get 78% more attack damage, which is massive, but more is always better than increased, if you didn't know. Cast on Elemental Element, I am basically only using this one so I can cast Frost Walls. Combat Frenzy in order to generate even more frenzy charges, in addition to Thaumaturgic Generator, which I have anointed on my amulet. I forgot to mention it earlier, so we can generate even more charges. Berserk, which goes very well hand in hand together with Eternal Rage. Eternal Rage is the thing that gives us the rage, and then Berserk increases the rage effect. So even though we have 78 rage, because of this Berserk, it counts as being like 140, something like that, I believe. So yeah, that's massive. That's basically 140 more attack damage, which is massive. Herald of Ice, you probably cannot see it because of my camera, but I have Armor Explosion, Armor Break, Uruks, Melting, Magnified Area 2, and Elemental Armaments 2. And I am basically using Herald of Ice to break armor so we can get endurance charges. Trinity D, you probably cannot see it because of my camera, but I have Diala's Desire, Vitality 2, and Utrecht's Augury in it. And again, we are using it for even more elemental damage because we deal all three elemental damage types. We deal lightning damage, we deal chill damage, and we deal fire damage. And lastly, for my skills tree, I don't have a lot to say here just because, as always, my main objective here is to take as many jewel slots as possible, and I'm taking all the jewel slots on the tree just because jewels are very powerful this league. And other than jewel slots, I'm taking a lot of defensive nodes, like for example this one, 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 etc, etc, just because otherwise I would be pretty squishy. You cannot see it because of my camera, but my energy shield is at 1000 right now. That's very low. You can probably get a lot more if you use rare gear, but I'm not, so yeah. So that's why I decided to take so many defensive nodes, and in the end it was worth it because I believe we are pretty tanky now. I showed you the skills, the stats earlier. I am at 75% armor. I am at 65% evasion in maps, I mean, and whenever I move, 69% evasion, even more. My deflection is at 81%, which is massive as well, right? So we are pretty tanky. And other than the defenses, defensive nodes, we are also taking a lot of critical hit chance nodes, like I said, so we can reach that 50% critical hit chance threshold for my Garukan. So I'm taking this one, I'm taking this one, and I'm taking this one. And now I'm gonna show you my jewels, which, like I said, they are the reason why I have so much rage, and they are the reason why I have so much presence, area of effect for my presence. Those are the kind of jewels that I run. We usually get 3 good stats here that are useful for my build. This one has more, like for example, I have presence, area of effect, I have maximum rage, I have increased armor, I have attack damage, and I have 1 rage on melee hit. Right? Ideally, you would want all of those to be diamonds, and you would want probably the presence area of effect, you want the maximum rage, and then you would want something like maximum energy shield, or yeah, something like that. But that's very expensive, and diamonds are, they are pretty hard to come by. I have a megalomaniac with augmented flesh. That's the reason why I have so many skills, because we get 2 more skill slots from this megalomaniac. Where is it? Okay, here, as you can see. All my jewels, or most of them, are corrupted twice, which again was pretty expensive. I have a voices with 2 sockets. And lastly, a heart of the well. And the 2 most important things here were the extra as fire and the extra as cold damage. All right. I feel like I'm about to lose my voice because of how much I talked in this video. But yeah, this is the second last video. I have one more to do. A video about a very chill martial artist. So stay tuned if you want to see that one. That's probably going to be in around 3 days because I need to level it up and all that. So it's gonna take some time. And after that, I am probably going to quit for the league. Yes, leave a like if you enjoyed and all that. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And see you next time. Bye.